For my major project, I undertook a land capability assessment for the Cooks Ferry Indian Band in Spences Bridge in British Columbia. The Cooks Ferry Indian Band is a First Nations government in Spences Bridge, and they've previously identified that they'd like to develop their lands for economic reasons and sustainably. I looked at biophysical and ecological capabilities of the land with community input and used that to develop some mapping so that they can use that to make land use decisions in the future. Spences Bridge is in the Thompson River Valley, and it's a very special place. It's got a very arid climate, doesn't receive much rain, it's very hot. In the lower elevations of the valley is a grassland ecosystem, and due to the glacial processes there are multiple terraces, and these terraces are well suited to agriculture. In the upland they have opportunities for logging through forestry and livestock ranching. It's also a world-class steelhead fishing location in the river, and it's a spectacular place to visit. For my project, I will use spatial data that's available from the Canada Land Inventory Program that was completed in the 1960s and 70s, which took stock of lands in Canada and an inventory of them based on a variety of land uses. And I've used the mapping that was developed for that through a GIS program to analyze it to kind of identify where some optimal areas for specific land uses are. It was a great opportunity for me to develop and learn a new skill and a new piece of software that is now a new tool in the toolbox. The key findings were that there is good agricultural land that can be developed in the area through irrigation. One of the issues is that there's not sufficient water in the area because it's an arid climate. So careful planning needs to be done to ensure that adequate water is available to develop the lands in a way that the community wants to do. They also have now a tool that they can use when dealing in future land use decision-making and sort of negotiations with other stakeholders in the region. We, throughout the process, communicated with the band and had a dialogue with them, so we presented the project to them at the beginning, and once the maps were created, then we presented those and got feedback and suggestions which were incorporated into the project throughout. Paul Mitchell-Banks was my professional supervisor for the project. It was important for him to be there. He was a liaison between UBC and the community. So he had great insight, but he was also to help control the scope of the project, something that was reasonable.
So this was a great opportunity for Luc to work with a real-world problem. One of the challenges that many First Nations face is that they may have the land, but they have not necessarily been able to capitalize on it to their advantage. So this was a great opportunity to bring in someone who is keen to use some skills that they'd learned at the school, develop some new ones, and to deal with a problem that was real and meaningful for the community.